very good evening to all participants and faculty here. Thank you to Dr. Hassan for very nicely elaborating this new format of PACES and describing in details every skill set that we have to know and describing each and every section. Actually, we go in details over each skill set, over each carousel, each station when we are in doing the course. Actually, I would also like to share one presentation, just a few slides, because Dr. Hassan has covered most of it. Well, Dr. Hassan has actually covered in details over most of what I have prepared. You have learned about the timing of each station and what is expected from you. So I will not go over through all that. Just what I would like to show you is you might have a few queries of if there are any books you would like to follow. Well, I'll just show you a few popular books that candidates like to follow all over the world. This is a very popular book written by Mehta and Iqbal, Clinical Medicine for the MRCP PACES, Oxford Specialty Training. It covers all the stations very nicely, although the new station has not been covered because this is the previous edition. But if you go through it, you will get all the examination related questions, the examination techniques, the history taking, even the communication stations are very well elaborated in this book. Another book that you can follow is Rider. Although the examination stations are not very elaborately covered here, but the history and the history communication and especially the communication stations are very well elaborated in the Rider books. These two books are very popular. Other popular books are the MRCP PACES Manual by Past Test, very structured, all stations covered. This is one of the books that has come out after the PACES 23 new format. I haven't gone through it elaborately, but I've heard it's pretty good. So you can look at this. And this book is also gaining very wide popularity, Al-Rock's Pacemaker PACES. I would advise you not to go over so many books, just to choose any two and go through them very elaborately. If you have time, you go through a third book. This is also popular, but after those 3 or 4. So just a few tips that I would like to give, since you're all aspiring candidates. I don't know if you have taken the exam yet, but there are certain things that you have to keep in mind when you are preparing for the PACES, especially for the first time. What we have gone through today is to understand the format of the exam and to understand the mark sheet, which Dr. Hassan has very nicely elaborated to you all. And we shared more details when we go into the course. Number 2, I would like to say you have to be up to mark with your theoretical knowledge. For example, when you are having a suspected or when you are having a diagnosis of hyponatremia, you have to be up to the mark about the causes of hyponatremia. Only then you will be able to take a good history and examine the patient. So you have to be up to mark with the theoretical knowledge. Number 3 is practice, practice, and practice. What do I mean by practice? You practice not only by yourself, have 1 or 2 partners. Practice the history, practice the examination, practice the communication. It may be a study partner, it may be a non-medical partner. You just practice and have someone watch you, do your steps. Practice with a timer. Your examiners are assessing whether you can do your take your exam within a stipulated time. So you need to have a timer. If needed, reduce the time so you can practice finishing your communication or history examination within that time. A very important tip for facing this exam is to make a format for everything. If you do not make a format and practice that way, you won't be able to face the exam in such a short time in a very concise manner. So make a format for your history, make a format for your examination, make a format for communication. That's what we practice, make the candidates practice in the course. You must perfect your examination technique. Your technique must be flawless. The examiners must get the impression that you have done this examination 1,000 times. You must be professional. You must practice to the point that it becomes a muscle memory. It becomes very fluent. Be confident with your attitude. Be confident with your presentation. Be fluent. Don't be arrogant. Don't be overconfident. Keep a right balance of not being too little, having too little confidence, not being overconfident. Give sufficient time for preparation. Whether you want 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, it's up to you. But have sufficient time. Don't rush. Otherwise, you won't be able to reproduce during the exam. And last but not the least, do not panic. If you practice, you will have to have a cool head so that you can give the exam very nicely. So these are the few tips that I would like to add to Dr. Hassan's presentation. I just mentioned a few books, and these are the short tips. We will be elaborating more in the course that Dr. Hassan mentioned, which will be held in KPC Medical College from February 9 to 11. All candidates are welcome to join. We will all elaborate on whatever we have discussed today. So with this short speech, I would like to end today's presentation. Thank you very much. Over to you, Fatima.
Okay, and I'll inform you all the aspirants that we are conducting in hybrid mode, means both physical and online mode. Physically, it would be at the KPC College in Kolkata. The PACES would be taking place from 9th Feb to 11th February 2024. It would be in physical mode plus in online mode. So basically, the PACES would be in hybrid mode.